All right, here we are, and up at the top of the map in the blue from TeamLiquid.net is our Protoss player in the lower bracket. It is none other than Liquid HerO. And down at the bottom left part of the map in the red from the team Zenex. He's their champion for the tournament, fighting for his survival here. It is Zenex's life.
Yes, it is. And you know, I can remember a couple of months ago when it seemed like every fight club we were doing, every match in Team Arena Challenge was a PvZ, and we were like, oh my god, we're casting so much PvZ. But you know what? It's kind of a refreshing break from all of the matches that we've had in the Tournament of Champions so far. It's been fun to cast.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if we're going to see Zenex's life go for a hatch first on this map again. I feel like he's tempting fate every time he does it, you know, but he seems to like to do it. A little bit of an extractor trick there.
Yeah.
About the fastest extractor trick I've ever seen, actually. Wow.
It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, because if you think about that, you've got to build the extractor, then you've got to hit, you know, whatever your hotkey is for your hatchery, and then SD, and then cancel it right away. That's quite a few actions to pull off that quickly.
Yeah, well, it's Pro Zerg. You got a pretty high APM. Definitely the most busy work of any of the races in terms of just stuff you need to do every minute is Zerg. So, yeah, generally Zerg players play a little bit quicker than the other races.
And let's see here, as HerO kind of poking around, and we'll see if he tries to deny this natural, you know. And indeed, he sees a spawning pool this go around. We'll see how that switches his opinion. If he drops down and puts down a forge right away, if he is going to be confident that he can get that Nexus up nonetheless.
I think we're probably going to see him Nexus first. It seems like he feels pretty safe doing that nearly every time here too, but he was wondering if he was going to have to pile on that natural expansion. He's like, oh no, it's a race. He's like, I got to get there before the drone. No hatchery. And oh, you're just scouting. Never mind.
Oh, I think Zenex's life is just going to go ahead.
He's going to put somewhere else, yeah.
He's going to take this base up here because he's like, all right, I already know you're going to block that one. So,
yep,
there we go.
Wow, all right, so just immediately taking that one. Zenex's life is so bold with his expanding. He's like, I'm just going to put this here. I don't care if it's risky or not. But on this map, I feel like this map especially, it's really risky to take your third before your natural as a Zerg player.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many places, high pylons, there's so many early sort of gateway pushes you can do to shut that down relatively quickly. So he's going to need to be ultra, ultra, ultra careful to scout for everything that could be possibly damaging to him. I feel like that's a really big risk for Zenex's life.
Well, we'll see if he can pull it off or not. Forge is already down for HerO up at the front, and there's his gateway right afterwards as well. We'll see if he puts down the photon cannon right away this go-around, though, so he doesn't die to anything.
Yeah, he definitely wants to, yeah.
All right.
Wow, is that a gap there by the ramp? I don't think it is, but
no, it's
man, it always looks like a gap.
It's one of those. Well, man, I don't know. That is really
could be a gap, actually.
That one might actually be.
Is it really? I don't know. We'll have to see. Zenex's life might show us.
Yes. We'll find out soon.
Now, I know those ramps are a bit weird as far as a visual effect for him, but that certainly looks like a gap.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here now as HerO going to start picking away at the neutral supply depot. Give himself some extra space to put down buildings, open that up. And double gassing at the moment as well. That was weird. He pulled his probes a little bit too quickly for the second assimilator. Kind of leads me to believe that he put that down a few seconds afterwards accidentally, but it's all right.
All right. Will we find out if there's a gap? I don't think it is. Otherwise, the Overlord would have seen it, and he would be running Zerglings in there right now. So
yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, that must be a complete wall off. This map likes to mess with your head, man.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's like bending the laws of reality.
I'm okay with that, though. This map is that good. It does it to me occasionally, so.
Well, he's got his third hatch on the way, just finishing up right about now. There it is.
Yep.
And so we're probably going to see that Roach mid-game again that's so popular. I mean, Zenex's life playing in a style that's basically the norm right now. Zerg versus Protoss, you don't see a whole lot of deviation to it. You see some two-base play, but in general, it's that three hatch with no gas and then into a Roach mid-game.
Yeah, so strong as well. And HerO is putting up Stargate once again. Worked last go-around. He was able to get some pretty good damage done with those. Looks like that's what it's going to be this game as well. Sending out his first Stalker as well. Could get himself an Overlord kill. Okay, yeah, now finally realizes that he's going to come back and pick that off.
Yep. Stalker. I like how his little legs just kind of like dance around. He's like, oh, I'm so excited to shoot this Overlord.
I've got it. I've got it.
Let's go get into the high ground.
Yep. And
oh.
sad stuff.
Stalker just stands there, dejected now.
Well, Zealot has rolled out, picked himself 3 kills though. If he gets a 4th, it would equalize, but no. Yeah. Oh, actually, he did kill 1 drone, I believe. All right, so, and the scouting drone as well, so not too bad.
Yep, first Void Ray on the way now for Liquid Hero, so he'll be able to pick off that Overlord very, very quickly. I'm sure that'll be the first stop. And, oh, the probe doesn't get into the base. No scouting for HerO.
No scouting for you. All right.
And there's a lair right away, too. So, yeah, where's the Roach line now for HerO? Is he going to do it? Or is he going to actually maybe go Mutas this game? There's the Roach line. Okay, so probably not Mutalisks then.
You know, we should get an Evolution Chamber here sometime soon as well, but it's awful late so far. And that may make the Void Ray a little bit of an extra threat.
Could be. You know, sometimes you do see Zerg players put down that Roach Warren just for defensive purposes and then go Mutas anyway, but Mutas have been falling out of style on most maps in ZVP. There's some maps that are still pretty Muta favored, like Tal'Darim Altar, for example, but a lot of Zergs have been kind of moving away from it, going into this very heavy Roach play and then following that up with Broodlords later on in the game, Broodlord Corruptor.
Void Ray moving right past the iPistol billboard there, but I always love the little add-ons and doodads and things like that on the maps.
Yeah. Yeah, Blizz definitely did a good job putting a lot of interesting stuff there. There's a lot of interesting dialogue on the scrolling message boards on these maps.
Oh, I know.
Too. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Void Ray just turning right around, he's like, I don't even want to try.
I don't care. I have nothing to live for. 2 Void Rays, actually, though. So they're going to start teaming up a little bit and see if ZenX Life will feel confident with what he's done and not produce too much air. Maybe that's what HerO's going for as well. Phoenix is going to duck in, see pretty much everything. There are no Spore Crawlers up here as well. The 2 Void Rays, though, are moving around the back. So HerO has it timed out so well, so he scouts and distracts his opponent just a little bit, allowing him to get a couple extra kills.
That's kind of cool. Interestingly enough, yeah, ZenX Life a little bit ahead on supply right now, and there's the Spire right away too, so I wonder maybe we are going to see Mutas here. You know, it'd be weird to go for like Corruptors and Broodlords this quick, and there's no Infestation Pit, so yeah, I think it's going to be Mutas for Liquid HerO.
Creep spread started
for life.
For ZenX Life out there. Yes, yes. And 10 roaches being added on as well, in addition to the 2 that are already out there. And oh, this Phoenix trying to move up and snag itself a little extra scouting and possibly an Overlord kill. We do have a bunch of Zerglings running around the bottom right, though.
So, okay, and this is actually enough to do a lot of damage to this army. Maybe even kill it, depending on the force fields. Pretty good force fields here. Looks like he might lose a couple sentries before moving off. Actually, no. Did he lose a single sentry?
I don't think he did.
So. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
ZenX Life loves these little early Ling attacks. There we go. Now he might lose a sentry or 2. There goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep. Sentries biting the dust there.
They all fall down. So last roaches are going to get cleaned up here with the Immortal up the back, and with +1 attacks, of course, he can rip through those Zerglings oh so quickly.
Man, ZenX Life is just in an awesome spot right now to go Mutas. 11 on the way right now. He can just make a lot of Lings too to stay safe. He's got +1/+1 on the way, so HerO is going to need to make a lot more Phoenixes to survive this, man. I mean, you can micro with your Phoenixes, of course. Oh, and he's got Burrow too. Excellent. But you need a pretty good amount of Phoenixes even then.
And that Overlord, pesky Overlord, will finally go down at one point in this game. So let's see here now. The 11 Mutas are out. +1 attacks is on the way. And, of course, naturally, now that I see those and we see a ton of Phoenixes, I want to see Anion Pulse Crystals, but
no
not
Fleet
likely.
Beacon yet. I'm sorry. It's just going to be Colossus instead, which is not bad because he knows there's going to be a lot of Lings because of the Mutas.
Right.
No cannon set up in the natural, though. He's going to lose some probes here.
And quite a few. Oh,
that's more Phoenixes. I thought. Oh, but he clumps them up and takes a lot of damage from the Mutas.
Oh,
whoa.
Go down right away. He's really got to watch out with his Phoenix control now, but now finally starting to sit just outside
you can't
of
run
range.
like that. Yeah. All right, there he is turning around. You can't run from Phoenixes with Mutas. You have to try to trick him. There we go.
Like that.
Yeah, ZenX Life making the most out of this here.
At the same time, we have a big Roach attack down at the bottom right-hand corner as well. Force field's going down to allow the Zealots to move in there and engage a bit. The Photon Cannon's actually racking up some kills as well. More Phoenixes and Colossi being added on at the moment, but a 50 supply advantage for ZenX Life.
Oh, I've got a feeling there's going to be a big amount of Lings showing up at this third base soon.
Yeah, looks like it.
There we go, and the Void Rays are there as well. Where are the Mutas to try to hold this up?
I'm not sure.
Oh, look at this. We're going to see a Colossi die to Lings. This doesn't happen very often.
No, but he will take some kills with him. Oh, nice job with the probes. Great control out of HerO. That was an excellent job to make sure that the Colossus wouldn't go down.
These other Lings are like, hey, wait a second. This shouldn't happen.
Let's see here, though, as one Ling trying to blend in with the rest of the Protoss forces, doing a pretty effective job, evidently. Zenex Life has not gone to a 4th base, though, just sitting on 3+ a macro hatch as he moves up to an infestation pit.
Yep, he wants to eventually get those Broodlords. He still has some mutas out on the field, but he's mostly producing Corruptors right now because of the Phoenix count of Liquid HerO.
Yeah.
Still really wants to deny this 3rd, and will he have enough to do it? That's the question right now. He knows there's a Colossus there too, so
yeah,
2 Colossi in fact.
It's a great job by HerO to hold on to that. Okay, so he's attacking the same time that everything's starting to move in now towards the next life. One of the photon cannons has gone down. The second's going to fall as well, but 2 more are coming up at basically the same point. I don't know if this is enough from the next life to push this, and HerO is going to stabilize, move away, while these Phoenixes continue to do damage back at home, picking off quite a few of the Overlords sitting overhead.
3rd base. Big attack here from Zenex Life, but this is kind of the thing that we've seen him do every game. I feel like he's being a little bit too aggressive here. Manages to pick off both Colossi, it looks like.
Yeah, and he got the Void Ray as well, but now the Corruptors are a little bit dead weight, and those Roaches going down. Phoenixes would actually be able, let's see if they can move the units. They kill Corruptors so slowly, but he wants to be able to push them back into the Stalker range.
Yeah, if he can pull them back over the Stalkers, he's going to be in good shape. But Zenex Life not stopping with the aggression here. I feel like this is his big fault as a Zerg player right now, is he's just too aggressive in this mid-game. Yeah. Almost a little bit July-esque, where he's like, all right, now I have to kill my opponent.
Looks like it. I mean, he's finally on a 4th base, but hasn't saturated that yet, hasn't tried to move a queen up there or anything along those lines, and his creep spread is honestly not all that great.
Yeah, it's not this game, too. I mean, he's concentrating so heavily on killing that 3rd and doing some sort of damage. It's not working out. Ling's not getting in. Clutch sentry there.
Such a quick reaction from HerO, and starting to pick off some Roaches, or at least picking them up for the time being as well. They're immediately burrowing themselves down.
Yep. And 3rd base is just fine. I mean, despite the action that's happened there, not a lot of probes have died.
No, not at all. Let's actually take a look at where the units stand. So we have basically even workers. Actually, another round of drones did just finish up. So 78 to 68 workers now. 7 Corruptors, 10 Roaches, 6 Infestors, and 50 Lings out for Zenex Life. 1 Colossus, 2 Immortals, and a handful of Gateway units with some Phoenixes for HerO.
Looks like we are going to be going into the late game here.
Yep.
And this late game, really the trouble that Zerg tends to have sometimes is that you've got all these really good high-tech units. Nice little harass by here there, but you've got all these little high-tech units, but you don't have a lot numbers-wise, Yeah. So if Protoss wins one battle convincingly, somehow or suddenly it's very difficult to come back and reproduce your army quick enough to win.
Nice job picking off those Corruptors, those Phoenixes there with the Corruptors and Infestors. So HerO has less of a presence in the air. He does have a 4th base coming up now, though. And Zenex Life, there we go, morphing in 5 Broodlords right away.
Yep, Blink finishing up for HerO too, so they'll be pretty well prepared. But yeah, Zenex Life kind of needs to make sure that HerO doesn't get a 4th base up and running. That one in the lower right kind of needs to be a priority, but it's just so out of the way that it's going to be tough to attack that and not be vulnerable to little like Zealot counterattacks, for instance, at his 4th base.
Yeah.
So HerO's actually, I think, in the better position in this game.
Well, let's find out now. No Templar Archives or Fleet Beacon quite yet. I would imagine that those are going to be added on pretty soon, especially as he gets this next base up. His Blink Stalker Micro is, of course, very, very good, but eventually we'll want those Archons and possibly a Mothership as well to deal with a large Broodlord force.
And this is not a large Broodlord force. No Broodlords or largeness really involved there. No. That Roach almost looked like he spontaneously combusted there at the end.
That was the exact opposite of a large Broodlord force. There we go. Fleet Beacon is coming up now, plus 2 weapons, just about to finish up with another Colossus as well. Stalker is being sacrificed for the greater good of Ire, I suppose.
And will those Lings survive enough to do any damage? There are 2 Colossi there, and they do have a lot of upgrades. Plus 2 weapons, plus 1 armor.
That's Zergling saying, haha, I've got this. Oh.
He's a brave Zergling.
Nice try. HerO now actually getting a benefit from that 4th base, though, so working out pretty well for him. He's almost maxed as well. He's got to find a way to start picking away at those Broodlords. We'll see what he chooses in just a bit.
Ooh.
Nice job. Picks up 2, 3, and gets a 4th as well. Broodlord, while the Colossi are sitting at the back and doing quite a bit of damage. Fungal Grow's pinning down a good number of those Stalkers, but HerO being very resilient. Now that reinforcement Broodlords are making their way in, there's not a ton of anti-air, but with the Ward Prism, he can bring in some more Blink Stalkers up to the front.
Yeah, it's just so difficult, I think, for Zerg players to make Zerglings work at this point of the game. It's very different. It's a similar engagement style to a late-game ZVT, but the difference is that the AoE units of Protoss, the Colossus, don't hurt their own forces, whereas Siege Tanks for Terran obviously do.
Yes.
So you can get right up on them with the Zerglings and, you know, be confident that Terran is doing about as much damage to themselves as you are to them. But in ZVP, it's very, very different. That type of engagement does not work very well.
And Zergling counterattack over at the 4th fails. We have one going into the natural, but once again, HerO on top of it drops down the force field right away as he's trying to deny this 5th base at the same time.
Yeah, I think things kind of spiraling out of control a little bit for Zenek's Life. Oh, a nice little Zergling counterattack here by Life, but HerO has enough anyway. GG.